What's up, fuckers? So today I'm gonna be teaching you how to do this shit, or at least how I've been doing it. So we can start with R&D. Um, basically, I made a little bit of changes in here already, but basically all you're trying to do with these is you see you got the minus plus zero point 0.7, things like that. So those have to do with the ideal spots of where these are at, and it shows you where, come on, fucker. It shows you where the ideal spot is in here. So 6.4, 13.6, it's going to be moving next round to 7.1, 12.9. So that's what it's going to be next round. But the problem with that is when I put that in here, it doesn't release until October. Um, the latest that you want these products to release is August because if it releases in October, it's only going to sell for 3 months of the year. So biggest thing is that you want all of them to be coming out at least before August, and you'll be in the clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. All right, guys. So I'm back here. I just made all those R&D decisions. I kind of went back on my own word here because these are releasing in September, but I had to do that because when it comes to high-end customers and performance customers, they really care about where this is. Whereas like traditional, they don't really care that much. So I didn't really move it too much for them, traditional, but like performance, high-end size, I did move it quite a bit. It's just I moved it to the point where it wouldn't be too long. September's already a little bit pushing it, so that's why I moved that as far as I did. They're moving to the ideal spots, as you can see. So not as far as they could be, but they're moving there. Now, Dick down here. Dick is going to be our new product releasing in 2029. So not this round, but the following round. What I did to get their performance and size was this is going to be a performance product, by the way. I just looked at the 2027 round and saw where it's going to move for 2 years. So not plus 1.0, it's going to be plus 2.0 and minus 1.4, which means it's going to be 13.4 and 13.2. I flipped those, so they're going to be zero point 0.2 off for each one. Yes, they do care about it, but I mean, zero point 0.2 and off is close enough. So this is going to be releasing in June, and it'll sell. So yeah, that's what we have to do with R&D. Now we can move into marketing. The price you just have to keep relative to how they care about it. So over here it's $19 to $29. I sold it at $28 and it sold very well. Next round, their maximum price is going to be $28.50. So I'm probably going to bring this down to $27.50. And I'll do that for each one just to make sure that we're still inside of that. Some people care a lot more about the price than others. Like low end people, they really care about the price. But once you get to the richer people, like high end, performance, and size, you see that they really don't care that much about the price. So you can put it like almost at the maximum, 50% or 50 cents less than the maximum. Promo budget, that has to do with customer awareness. Ours is at 93%. It's about 90 for each product because I put in 1800 to 2000 for each product. Um, each time I'm going to start dropping that down. So like now I've got it at 1500 because our customer awareness is all the way at 90% here. Really don't need to worry too much about putting more into promotion. The sales budget we're going to keep the same because the customer accessibility wasn't too high. So that's what the sales budget has to do. And then this is what the promo budget has to do with. Yeah. So basically, you just want to go off what happened last round. If your numbers were good, then you can take them down. If they were fine or a little low, you might want to take it up. But yeah, that's where we're going to keep these at for now. I'm going to change the prices. The forecasting is where it really gets interesting. let's say, for example, we're doing forecasting for traditional. So this is what the current market is right now, 8,776 people. It's going to grow by 9.6 people next round, or 9.6% next round. So all you have to do is this number times 1 point this percentage, and you'll get the amount of demand next round. The marketing forecast is supposed to be like your worst case scenario, so you don't produce any more than you need to. The only problem is we had 30% potential market share, and we only capitalized on 23% of that. And that's how you're supposed to do your forecasting, is what you think your market share is going to be. So last time I did something like worst case scenario 17%, best case scenario 21%. But we had a lot more than that. So that's what I'm going to do. Worst case scenario this round, I'm going to do 22%. And then best case, I'm going to do roughly 30%. So while I'm getting this worst case done, I'll be right back. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is that you're in the world. Oh, shit, what? All right, let's go see what we priced our shit at. Alrighty, so I'm back. I just dropped the prices down, each 50 cents, keeping the promo budget and sales budget the same. You don't need to do anything for Dick because, like I was saying, it's not actually releasing until round 29. So we'll make decisions for that one next round. The forecasting, I just did 22%. I did a little bit higher for Duck because for some reason last time my forecasting was off. They sold 925 units and 22% was only like 800. So I did about 25% with that one. And yeah, that's how we do our low end marketing forecasting. All right, so production is where it gets a little bit tricky as well. The production schedule is how much we're actually going to make for each one. That's where we do our high end forecasting. So, like on the high end, what are we going to sell? As I was talking about earlier, potential market share was fucking high for all of the products. Like, compare it to the E team. We're double, triple their market share in almost every product. We are going to dominate them. We just need to actually make enough so we can sell enough. So yeah, that's what that is. And then when it comes to the plant down here, so buying and selling capacity, that's how much we can actually make. Like we have this 30% market share, but can we actually make 30% products? Probably not. That's why down here, I already made most of these decisions. You're maxed out at 41,000 each year. So I just did Dick's a little early. Just bought 900 of that one. It's going to sell a fuck ton when we release it next year. Days. Days is a traditional product. We sold out a lot with that one. Also 30% market share. So I'm buying a lot of capacity for Days. Dell, that's our low end product. We've been doing really good with that one since round one. So I'm buying some capacity for that one too. Next would be high end. The only reason I'm buying some for high end is because look at this, guys. This hurts. This really hurt me when I woke up on Monday morning. It's our high end product, most expensive, and we got beat out. Even though we had so much higher potential market share, it's because we didn't have the capacity to make as much as we needed. And we stocked out. We didn't make as much as we needed. So that's why I'm buying some more for this. We don't need as much because clearly not as many products sell in this one. The market's only 3,000 people. So yeah, that's production. The automation levels have to do with like think of like a factory. It's not actually a person making the product. It's a machine. So we have to invest some money into it, but it's going to help us out in the long term. We don't have to spend as much money on buying plant capacity. The only problem is it's super expensive. I bought a lot for low end last semester or last round, sorry, and we can't really afford to buy any more for any of the products, unfortunately. But we bought a lot of capacity. We should be good. Um, these second shift production. So when she's talking about plant utilization, this is what she's talking about. So we see like 111, 170, 86, 107. Think about that as like 100% plus this number. So basically, where we're at right now, without the additional capacity that I bought, we'd be at 170% plant utilization. That's a little bit high. So I bought some capacity, but we're also going to make more this round. So I'm going to put those forecasts in here and I will be right back. What's up, fuckers? So I'm back. I just did pretty much what the percentages were on this potential market share. So 29%, 30% for days, 28% ish for Dell. I did a little bit higher for each one because it doesn't hurt to overproduce, I guess. It doesn't hurt to have any left over. Clearly, we've never overproduced. We've stocked out every single time, which is not a good thing. We could be capitalizing on this market. So that's why I'm buying some more capacity here, and we're going to produce a shit ton of products. Now we can move into human resources. The maximum you're allowed to do for recruiting hours is or recruiting spend is 5,000. Training hours is 80. That's what I do every single time. I really don't think it matters that much. To be completely honest with you, this is literally $5,000. It's not like 5 million. So it really doesn't make too big of a difference at all. Finally, finance. How are we looking? Oh shit. All right, so we're quite a bit in debt. I'm going to have to take out 22,000 probably in a loan, or I may move back to that capacity on production and buy a little bit less capacity. But I mean, this is the cost of being a boss, dog. And we're releasing a new product. It's going to be an expensive round for us, but we can take out $22,000 of loans. We can also decrease that plant capacity down a little bit. So that's probably what I'm going to do, and I'll get back with you guys. But basically, yeah, that's really all I've been doing to get these forecasts is multiply those percentages. I guess to show you a specific example of how I did this. Let's look at days here for this 2200. Come back up here. So what you're going to do is multiply 8,776 times 1.096. That'll multiply it by itself and this percentage point in the same one, which gives us 9,618. Then to get the 2200, like I was saying, I just did about 0.22. Multiplied that number by 0.22, 22%. That gives me about 2150. So that's why I did 2200. Doesn't hurt to go a little bit above. Same thing here with the production. You know, I just multiplied the 8,776 by 1.096. And then to get the high end forecast, I multiplied it by 0.3, which would be 30%. So not too difficult, honestly. Definitely need to take this down, though. This is pretty much all of our costs is coming from this. It sucks, though, because we have so much market share. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm damn near the professor in this bitch. You should nominate me as a professor if this was helpful. Or potentially even send this video to Professor Zhang, because this is what she needs to be doing. Explaining us how actually to find these numbers. All right, my friends. Well, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.